Persona fans, and welcome back to Trinity Soul Tuesdays, the show where I cover an episode of Persona Trinity Soul every 2 weeks and encourage you all to watch along with me. When we last left off, we got all the dominoes set up and ready to be knocked down, because on today's episode, it's the last episode. Will our gang be able to stop Cleone from bonding with the whale and destroying the world? Why is Ryo standing in the way of Akihiko? Whatever happened to Udo? Because for real, he's like the one Maribito member we never saw die. I mean, he's totally dead, but we didn't see it. So like, remember that one short scene in episode 15 when young Ryo had a dog? Yeah, it got hit by a car. It's dead. Shin, in the Sea of Psyche, is watching Ryo's memories unfold, and sees that his dog's death caused Ryo to awaken to his persona, Cain, for the very first time. And Cain went on a bit of a rampage and destroyed a bunch of trees. And that, my friends, is the origin story of the Kanzato family's backyard tree thing. Oh, and also Cain, I guess. Meanwhile, Big Ryo is still having an argument with Akihiko, and we find out that even though these two work together, they kind of have conflicting agendas. See, Akihiko's goal was to stop the Maribito and put an end to the unnatural awakening of complex personas, while Ryo reveals that his goal is to eliminate all personas, believing that human beings should never be in control of such a dangerous power. Akihiko tries arguing that some problems can only be solved with personas, like TV serial killings, or changing the hearts of corrupted authority figures, just to name some unrelated examples. But Ryo disappears, leaving behind a whale feather almost as a direct challenge. Cleone and Devi continue their leisurely saunter through the city streets, which is clearly starting to have an impact on residents, as Megami observes. Ito goes to head out, but Narasaki calls out to him, and like, remember how the whale was putting people's consciousnesses back in the wrong bodies? Well, surprise! Narasaki pulled a Paul Rudd, and is apparently channeling Ito's wife, who died in the event 10 years ago. It's kinda weird, and there's really not any payoff to it. Shin argues with regular Ayane, who apparently totally agrees with Ryo that she doesn't want any personas and just wants to stay with the whale and sleep, which is why she separated Jun and Yuki in an attempt to stop her father's plan. But thanks to Ryo, they've been reunited, and Ryo even wants Shin to stay with them here. Ayane tells Shin that the ideal dream world he was pulled into can become his truth if he abandons reality, but like, come on, no way! Inui finally wakes up and gets Akihiko on the phone. Turns out that device he attached to Cleone's back was an explosive. Don't worry, Inui, we'll only detonate it once she gets near the— oh crap, she's about to merge with regular Ayane. Blow her up right now! But then she uses the Force and sends the bomb flying off her back as it blows up, and blows up pretty hard, and I think we just accidentally killed a bunch of people. I'm not sure. Ryo continues to tell Shin that he has to stay here, that Jun and Yuki will be staying here, and they just look so happy about it. Shin thanks Ryo for all he's done to try and protect him, even when they were so far apart, but like, come on, no way! Megami is attempting to fight off Devi in the city streets, but Diana is kinda getting her butt kicked. Devi manages to grab a hold of Diana, but then a powerful Zeodyne comes out of nowhere. It's Takuro, here to help out. But then, like, Cleone uses Devi to summon a bunch of personas, including a few we've never even seen before, so now they're both getting their butts kicked. Also, like, I just realized Cleone has been able to summon personas that she never absorbed. Like, she didn't absorb Shiba, but can summon his persona? Like, what gives? Maybe all personas her dad absorbed get instantly sent to her. I don't know. Anyway, luckily Shin sees this in the other world, and when he dives into a puddle to try and save them, his hand grabs his reflection's hand, except it's actually Konoru's hand, which is super sweet, and I still totally ship it. But like, somehow, yes, somehow, this allows Megami and Takuro to join hands and summon Astarte, who manages to free their personas from Devi's grip. And also, Shin is just there now. Cleone manages to get over the bay where the whale has clearly been growing restless, and there's like a weird moment where she has her dad's voice, and he tells herself to get Shin's persona, but Devi just like starts lowering her magic Twizzlers and starts trying to merge with the whale, which from my understanding will, you know, destroy the world. Pretty standard stuff. Shin sees this happening and tries to be all like, "No way, girlfriend," and sends Abel after them, but then Cain immediately does a stop it, and the two brothers have the Persona showdown that we knew was inevitable from the day we knew they were Cain and Abel. Cain is able to wound both Abel and Shin, but when Shin gets in a good strike, he gets a flash of Ryo's memories. Remember how Komatsubara died in a car accident 5 years ago? Who do you think was the one that caused that accident? Who do you think is the one that killed him? Yep, turns out Ryo used Cain to blow up his car after finding out that Komatsubara could have saved Yuki and Jun without experimenting on them. As Shin is about to fall, Jun Yuki arrives and explains to Shin that Ryo just wants to calm the whale down, as all of its resistance has come from humans using personas to disrupt the nature of the Sea of Souls. The twins believe that if they sacrifice themselves and merge with Klayane, then her joining the whale might not destroy the world due to Seth's unique calming powers. Shin goes on a rampage though, and is able to destroy several of Devi's summoned personas, again, including some we've never even seen before, but Devi grabs a hold of him and attempts to rip him inside out. Jun is about to fuse with Klayane, and then... As the eldest brother, Ryo just can't let his siblings die like this. So he uses Cain to shoot Devi and even unleashes Samus's final smash on it, allowing Shin to use his Sever Sword to destroy Devi once and for all. With her persona completely severed, Klayane falls into the ocean as a flurry of whale feathers fly every which way. As the sun rises, the Kanzato brothers sit on the beach with Inui, Akihiko, Ito, Megami, and Takuro. And Ryo passes away in Shin's arms. I don't know if he overexerted himself in that last fight, or maybe those persona suppressors finally caught up with him, or maybe both. But Ryo is dead now, and we see the whale finally return to a peaceful state, implying that, I guess, everything is all good. Cut to like a year later, and we see the brothers have basically packed up their place and are getting ready to say their goodbyes to the house. Shin is going off to college near wherever Megami ended up, and Takuro got promoted to the manager of Sexual Bomber, where Jun is currently working while he lives in the dorms. Jun asks Shin if he wants to race to the bus stop, but Shin says they can just walk, presumably wanting to spend more time with his brother before he leaves. And that is where this episode ends. As far as finales go, I thought they did a pretty good job. Klayane and Devi made for an absolutely fantastic final boss fight. I feel like in the game, the fight would have been more focused on the whale itself, but I love the idea of the final showdown basically being this insanely powerful giant persona. Nearly every major character had their own part to play, whether they were a persona user or not, though I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Megami and Takuro. The actual ending, like after all the dust had settled, was a little underwhelming in my eyes. It's a nice moment between Jun and Shin, but like, what about the other characters? This series breaks the common storytelling rule of show, don't tell, by just saying where Megami and Takuro are now, and as for characters like Akihiko, Ito, Inui, I have no idea. My best guess is they are alive somewhere. Is Narasaki still Ito's wife? I couldn't tell ya. But overall, yeah, I think it was a pretty good finale. And that is where this series ends. Less than 2 weeks after this episode aired, Persona 4 launched in Japan, and shortly after that, the 26 episodes of Trinity Soul faded away into non-canonical obscurity. Back on January 1st, I opened this project by announcing my goal to see if Trinity Soul was an underappreciated classic, or if it should have been left in the past. I remember when I first watched this series in 2008, I didn't like it that much. I thought it was slow, boring, didn't have enough persona action, and perhaps its biggest sin, it wasn't really anything like Persona 3. But now that I'm older, wiser, and looking at this series with a different perspective, I can honestly say I enjoyed it a lot more than I did 11 years ago. Do I still have some issues with it? Yeah, of course I do. But when I let myself get absorbed into this world and meet its characters, I found myself really liking the journey I was taking with them. The worst thing I can really say is a few episodes are a little on the slow side for my tastes. I'd say that Trinity Soul is an above-average series, a B- in the world of Persona. It manages to have some really high highs, but I can't recall any majorly low lows. I'm not saying that Trinity Soul is for everybody, but I definitely think it is better than a lot of people, myself included, gave it credit for back in 2008. I'm really glad I watched the series again with fresh eyes, and I'm happy I didn't let this story fade away as a mediocre memory. Those of you that watched along with me, what did you think of this series? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all again in 2 weeks for one final video, but for now, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thanks to each and every one of you who helped make Trinity Soul Tuesdays what it was. I want to give thanks to those of you who watched it, those of you that left comments. Super special thanks to ScruffyTurtles, the artist who made the Strain and Abel artwork you see in every thumbnail. I just want to give so many thanks to everybody who helped make this series what it was. This is a show I really didn't think people would care that much about, but it was a huge passion project for me, and it was fun from start to finish. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And so long.